Hello, friends. So, we've been working on charts this week, and one of the things that we're going to do for today's activity is read our book, My River, and we're going to watch the video. And after doing those two things, we're going to go ahead and start with our activity. Okay, friends, so before we get started, this is the book that we're going to talk about today. Now, look at the front cover. Just by looking at the front cover, what do you think it might be about? That's right. Maybe bodies of water. We have been talking about that in class. So it could be about the river. It could be about a pond. It could be about the ocean. We're not sure, but we got to dive into the book to find out what body of water it is. But you're right. I do see fish. It kind of does look like rainbow fish from the book we read the other day. That's really good. Good remembering. I see some plants. You're right. What else do you see? I see an insect. A dragonfly. Now, this is called My River. It is by Sherry Halpern. So, this is the what of our book? That's right, the title. The title. And I don't see another author or writer, so this must be the illustrator and who writes the story in the book, or who writes the words. The author. So, the author and the illustrator must be Sherry Halpern then. We don't see another name. What do we see in the back of our book? Children. And they look like yeah, you're right. They look like they're jumping in the water. I see some plants, maybe some seaweed, could be. So we know that this is the title, the author and the illustrator. Good job. The front cover, the spine, and the back of the book. Great job. Let's get started. Now that we've read the book and we've watched the video, let's look at our chart and look at the two categories that we have. Now, remember that one of the things that we've been talking about is understanding or making those connections to things that are actually outside of our classroom, in the world around us. So in our book, My River, it talked about different types of animals. What kinds of animals do you remember from the story? Yeah, good job. We saw a duck, and did we just see ducks, or what other kind of animals did we see? Think about it. There was, I believe, also some insects. That's right. We saw a beetle. We saw a beetle. But in the back of the book, it also gave the correct name to. So you're right. It was a beetle. There was mosquitoes and a dragonfly. So there was not just animals, but there was also bugs that live around the river. Now, we know what that river represents for those animals. What kind of animals or different types of sea creatures could you see in the ocean, in salt water? Because we also talked about how rivers are also freshwater or can be springs. Can you tell me? That's right. So why don't we use our marker and let's add some other ones to our list. And okay, here we go. Why don't we look at them? We've separated them into two categories. So we have oceans and we have rivers. So on our river side, we wrote all of these. Why don't we say them together? Ready? Duck, turtle, fish, and lobster. What's something else that you remember from the story? And then we can write it down. Think about it. We saw all these, like I said, duck, turtle, fish, lobster. What else do you remember from our book? That's right. A dragonfly. We did say that, dragonfly. What else do you remember? What other animal lived by the river? Okay, well, think about it this way. What kind of animals would find the river useful or important to them as their habitat or environment? Okay, you're right. We did say turtle. Turtle is up here. Can you think of a different one? Think about the parts of the book where we had different animals around the river. That's right. We put fish. Different type of fish. Very good thinking. What about the ocean? Look at the ocean one and all the ones that we wrote on the ocean. We wrote rainbow fish, octopus, sharks, whales. What is one other animal that you can think of that would find a home in the ocean? Sea turtles? Actually, we did write that down. Yeah, you're right. Sea turtles, eels. What else? Ooh, squid. You are right. Let's write that down. Squids. Excellent. You've done a great job. So now that we've kind of made two categories and labeled or grouped together different types of animals that we can find in the oceans or the rivers, remember our chart, we're going to pair off together into groups and try to work on it ourselves. Writing can be difficult for some of our friends, so what we're going to do is draw. Make sure that you assign one person in your group to be in charge of the drawing part, or you can have two if drawing or writing is difficult for your friends. So what we're going to do is draw them. Now on the board, we wrote them out. Miss Kathy wrote them out under ocean, animals that found ocean as their habitat, and another one as rivers, and the animals that found that as their habitat. Now we're going to do it together, or we're going to do it in pairs so that you guys can work on it together. If you have a hard time, raise your hand and we can work on it individually, or Miss Kathy can come around and help everybody.